is our financial status right now, and it's scary. you know it's scary because there's pay cuts, there is loss of jobs, people are using up their savings to survive right now, and we don't know how long this is going to go on for, which is why I have a specialist on this topic today with us, Mrs. Angita Narsi, and I'm going to join her right now. Just give me a second, please. Let's see what she has to tell us. I'm sure it's a very, very informative session today. Guys, please ask your questions. Please ask. Hello, Ankita.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All good. So far, so good. Can't complain much.
Good. I'm glad you're at home. How's everybody at home? Is
Everyone's safe. Everyone's just managing fine. So I really can't.
Great. So, I was just telling the viewers how it is such a scary situation right now with our finances because of the pay cuts, because of people are losing their jobs, and people like, unfortunately, and I'm very ashamed to say this, but people like me who have zero finances planned in life, we really don't know where to go from here. So, what is your take on the whole pandemic situation? Like,
I would take this as an opportunity to work on my finances, even if you are a seasoned player in it or if you are a first timer. We have equal opportunity right now to plan our finances. We have enough time in our hand to even take account of where our money is. Even if, for example, if you've not invested, but somebody from your family has invested on your behalf, ask them questions about what is your situation, because clearly I'm sorry to say, but most women do not take finances in their hands.
I know, I agree.
Like, they make enough money, but they do not bother taking care of their finances for that matter. Right? So this is the time that you can step up for yourself more than anyone else, and take account of where you stand with your finances. Like, just the simple thing, like, analyzing where your savings are, how much money you have in your bank account, like, because you're so used to swiping a credit card and paying out of your wallet, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, we are anyway short of cash in hand, and then you start swiping your card, so you don't know how much money is going from your account, right? So
but this is a situation. I remember when I was like about 8 years back or something, I had just started earning money, and I got this credit card because, first of all, like, I got fooled into it. Like, I kept getting calls from the company, like, buy credit card. So I went for it, and I was excited because, new money and new excitement, and I kept swiping my card.
wow.
And I had such a big bill. It was horrible. Like, it was mental stress more than anything. Like, how am I going to repay so much, and then to ask my parents for the money? So a lot of people get fooled into this whole thing,
Absolutely. We need to understand how these credit cards work, how much interest you will be charged if you don't pay them on time.
Yeah,
right?
correct.
That's the most important thing, and they are the most expensive loan you can ever have.
I know.
I strongly, especially in this time, like, we are down to our basics. We have only our basic necessities to care for at this moment. And this is the best time to take count of where your money is, where you're spending. So ideally, the old formula used to be like, your income minus your expenditure becomes your saving. But it's time to change that and make it your income minus your savings and spend only how much is left after that.
Got it.
Right? So take count of where your money is, take count of where your income is coming from and where you're spending. Like, I'm assuming in last 2 months, nobody's made any unnecessary expenses. All of a sudden, cash has become so dear to us, right? So we don't want to, there are no options to spend. Forget it, even if you want to, there are no options to spend anywhere, right? So this month, I mean, I would say even last 1 month would be a different scenario altogether when it comes to your spending. But we still had Jan, Feb, which was still good, where we went out and, had a good time, spent our money wherever we wish to. So since you have time in hand right now, calculate of where you spend, calculate where you spend unnecessary, because that's where most of our credit card expenses go.
Correct, absolutely.
Right. So it's the perfect time you have. You're not doing anything at home. Make the most of it. And work on your, at least, understanding of your income and expenditure, where you've been saving, cut down on your expenses which are unnecessary, because going forward, that is the way.
Right,
can,
absolutely.
like,
And also, I think that this whole pandemic is a blessing in disguise to us, because we have realized how little we can spend and still be okay. Like all those outings, all those extra orders of khana or groceries or fancy stuff, people are surviving without. And even if you're ordering, people are learning how to cook, and people are doing all these things and saving money. And I was just talking to my husband about it, and I said, like, wow, we've saved so much money this whole month especially, and we can continue it. You don't have to, as soon as the lockdown is over, you don't have to go back to your excessive expenditure and just be like, yeah, now I'm going to be normal again. But that is not normal. Honestly, I feel this is normal. Like, this is how you should go ahead.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you. So there is something called as financial fasting, and like it's a 21 day. If you keep following it, it forms a habit. So let's, we still have few days. I won't say we have 21 days per se, but we still have enough time in our hand to at least start somewhere and get on the right track rather than being lost in the whole process. Right? We've not one meal outside on a weekend would easily cost you 5-6 grand. Right? It's very easy. Imagine if you save that much and invest that much, you would end up multiplying that money rather than, spending. I agree. Goals sound important because that is also equally important for the economy to run. But we need to have a calculated understanding of where we are spending, how much is our income, and can we afford that kind of spending? Because like you mentioned very nicely before, that we don't know where we are, we don't know if our salary is certain any longer. We might have a pay cut, we might have a job loss. So, these are the very sad outcome of this pandemic. And let's face it, we have to be prepared for it.
Right. So, Ankita, can you tell us, sorry to cut you, were you saying something?
No, please go ahead. So, yeah, this is the time where we can take account of where we unnecessarily and save money.
Okay. So, I want to know what exactly you do as a financial advisor.
Right. So, I basically advise on how to plan your finances, considering your your age, your income, your risk appetite. Like a lot of things are required to understand where you want to start your investments. So I will help you guide how to go about with your investments, where you can invest, and on and so forth. Basically understand your current financial situation and helping you grow and achieve your financial goals that you have in mind. Like, we all want to buy a house of our own. We want a car. We want to go for a vacation. Like, there are so many things.
Yes, absolutely.
So all of these are very easily achievable if you plan it well. Like, just planning it well helps in a long, long way.
Now that you said it, I remember there was this article in Times of India once about smoking. And it was very interesting, like people who smoke. And I'm not targeting a certain audience, but I'm just saying in general, and this can go for all the habits that we have. So people who smoke, what if you reduce your smoking? Or obviously it's better if you cut down completely, but you reduce your smoking and save that much money and put it in the bank, even if it's 15-20 rupees, right? Put it in the bank, and over the long term, how much money by the time you retire, you can have like a good investment.
Absolutely. That is considering you're putting in a bank which is paying you bare minimum interest, right? Imagine if you're spending, say, 20 rupees a day.
Yes.
On your smokes, on your cigarette. You don't smoke for a month. You will have 600 rupees in your account. Just very basic, very small amount. If you look right now, but if you start saving 500 rupees every month, start investing in a systematic investment plan in a mutual fund, 500 rupees every month, and by the time you retire, you will have a huge corpus with you.
Yeah, exactly. That's
right. So very, very simple habits that can be changed and work for you.
And that's what I was thinking. We are talking about 20 rupees a day, but honestly, if you just put 100 rupees a day in your bank account, it's already such a big figure by the year end. Like 365 into 100, and that is the amount of money you're saving, and that's not a small amount,
Not at all.
That's somebody's salary, probably. One of the laborers or somebody will really appreciate that kind of money with them for a year.
True.
So can you tell us the basics now of saving? Like, how much money out of your entire income are you supposed to save, and how basically you could go about it for a decent living?
So right. So there is no one clear answer for that. Ideally, if you are younger, if you don't have any responsibility, say you just started earning
Yeah.
and you don't have any family to fend for, like you're earning for yourself, you don't have any household expenses to run. I
Right.
would suggest in save. So let me first clarify savings and investment. Right.
Okay.
Savings is something which is left after you spend. Okay.
Yes.
And investing is making your savings work for you. Basically, multiplying your money. Making
Yeah.
your money work for you is investing, right? So savings only is not going to help you achieve your financial goals. So, because your money will not grow on its own, right?
Right.
It needs, lying in the bank account, it will hardly beat inflation numbers. Like,
Right.
the expenses are just rising every year. There is nothing that is going cheaper,
True.
right? So just keeping money in your bank account is not going to help you. You have to invest. Okay. Having said that, going back to the topic of how much money, how much percentage of your salary, for example, you need to keep aside. So, like I said, if you don't have any dependents, if you don't have any hardcore utility bills to pay, and if you've just started earning, I would say, invest 70% and keep aside 30% as your expenses.
Okay.
But of course, this ratio changes as in when you grow old, when you have more responsibilities, when you have family members, when you get married, when you have children. So all of these expenses change. But as a thumb rule, like, if you just have, say you're married, you have children, like, you have kids, you have their expenses to pay, you have a house to run, you have utility bills, at
Right.
least 30% of your salary should go into investments.
Okay. Okay.
At least
Wow.
30%, considering 50% goes for the necessities. Now even the luxuries of the past have become necessities of the present. So definitely
Right.
the necessities have gone up. Okay, having said that, you will have still 10-20% for your entertainment and lifestyle expenses, which is essential. I don't deny that. But try and cut down on your lifestyle expenses as much as possible in order to
Correct.
save more, invest more, and the quicker you want to reach your financial goal, the better it is if you cut down on your lifestyle expenses.
Correct. But
You
then
know,
that again, requires a lot of effort, because if you ask me, if I'm going to go shopping one day and I'm, following this whole principle of sustainability, so I've stopped shopping like rubbish clothes and only whatever is necessary. Minimalizing is basically what I want to do. But there's always temptation.
absolutely.
And it's very hard to fight that. So for somebody who's making a little amount of money, if that person has to go and say that, shit, I don't need this, let me just stop it. How do you feel like if one month I go ahead and just spend that money, is it okay the next month if I save the 30% that you're talking about, or is it important that I go ahead and save about 50? Will that make a difference? Or
Be as disciplined as possible is the key here. Okay, I totally understand the temptation, and that comes more because, like, for me, it was, let me give you my personal example. When I started earning my first salary, I blew up because there were no restrictions. It was only for me. So the excitement to get your own money and spend on things that you want without anybody is a different level of freedom. Let me tell you that.
absolutely.
But be content at one point that, okay, I have done enough. There's nothing that I am missing out on.
Right.
Don't have FOMO moment every time you go shopping, like, oh, this is the best dress on the display, I need to buy it. That cannot happen. You have to be disciplined with yourself because you need to prioritize your goals. That is ultimately important. Is like, what is important right now, wearing that dress or buying that car 3 years later? Like,
Correct.
So
Correct.
discipline is essential. Priorities is very essential. So have a plan in mind. And like I said, credit cards, you can throw them away. Like,
I know.
you use it only when it's required. Like, if you want to book your flight tickets or, like, some major chunk where you require credit card, that's a different story. But shopping and, just don't log on to those shopping portals. Don't log on. Don't have your credit card saved for that matter.
Yeah.
Even if you end up buying, walking to your wallet and picking the credit card out to put in the details is also cumbersome. Like, when you're shopping online. So don't get credit card details online.
But I feel that it also comes with some age and experience, So when you're younger and you've just started earning and you have a card, for example, like me, and you would just splurge and be like, wow, I'm so independent and, I'm doing it on my own. But now, if you ask me, I would not touch a credit card because I know what comes with it. It's my personal experience.
you had a first-hand experience, and
Yes.
which is what is essential, because when you're young, your expenses are not over the top that
Yeah.
oh my god, it will be a lifelong
Yeah.
burden on you. It's a small
Correct.
expense that you pay to learn that lesson, which is fine.
True.
And that is why I say, if you've just started earning, probably 1-2 months splurge your salary, no doubt, be content with that splurging, be content with that experience of freedom for that time, and then you know that that is not life.
Correct.
And there are important things in life that you need to take care of rather than just shopping and buying goods and keeping in your cupboard, right? So yeah, over time you will understand. Over time, once the responsibilities on you come up, you will know that okay, that's not for me right now.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah,
So also, Geeta, now we are talking about savings, but now in today's case, where people are getting salary cuts, okay, and the expenses are only increasing, and I think it's only going to get worse. You know, things are going to get even more expensive because, come on, like, you know, there's no production anymore left.
right.
So, what do you think now in the future, in the very recent future? I mean, you know, maybe like a October, November, when things start going, maybe and hopefully soon, they start going into its right place. What do you think is the saving like at that time? Should we still look at a 30%, or should we just be a little more practical and say, ki chalo, like, you know, let's at least survive first?
No, so again, we are living in this lockdown. We are living only on bare necessities right now.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no harm till you get back to your salary, right? Salary levels that you were in the past or in the recent past. There is absolutely no harm in cutting down on your expenses.
Yeah.
Unnecessary expenses, because instead of cutting down on your savings and investment, I would totally go for cutting down on my expenses, because this is the reality. We need to face it, right? We've always been very comfortable with money flowing in our account every month without having to bother anything. But now this is a reality check for all of us here, that like, you know, are we going to splurge on certain things? No.
Absolutely.
Like going out, having a meal once in a while is fine, but what else? Like, you know, people are going to postpone buying a new car. People are going to postpone buying a new house, because, you know, how do you pay your EMIs if your income is not stable?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So there are a lot of things that will come in place as and when the economy also opens up, and as and when the economy grows. But for thing, I would still suggest, for, you know, till the time you don't have stability in your income, till the time you don't feel comfortable with the coming in your account, don't have unnecessary expenses.
Great.
Like, don't cut down on your savings, but don't have unnecessary expenses.
Got it.
Like, as a school teacher type it would sound, but that's the way forward.
But that's how, that's exactly the way forward, and you can't do anything about it. This is come on us because of us, and now that's the right time to start thinking about the whole situation and you know, move ahead in the right direction. But tell me now, people still have loans and people still have EMIs to pay. Is the government going to be considerate about the situation, or what's going to happen for them?
So the EMIs, the government has given banks the permission to, you know, replan the moratorium. Like, you know, they would give an extension of 3 more months to pay their loans, and they wouldn't want people to pay their loans in these 3 months. But having said that, if your income, say for example, if you're working with an MNC, if you're working with investment bank, right, and you're still working from home, your income, your salary is still coming the same. Like, you know, there is no change. I'm sure there are people who have not got any salary cuts, right? So for those kind of people, I would strictly tell them not to go for any of these moratoriums that are coming in, because you know, the longer you extend, the EMIs will also go up accordingly. Right. So I wouldn't suggest for people who have their salary coming in, income is regular, to take any concession on their EMIs. Even for that matter, even your credit card bills. The government has given a lot of concession in terms of delay in payments, but let's not take that, you know, if you have, that's only if you have your income steady. Like, you know, if you're getting your salary regularly, do not go for all of those things.
Okay. And what do you think about, you know, businesses and startups who right now, like for example, my brand is of clothes. And honestly, I know that, you know, clothes is the last thing probably that people are going to think of buying at this stage. So I really have to plan my future with the expenses and the capital that I'm putting into my business.
Right.
So people like us and businesses and startups and even housewives for that matter, do you have any suggestions for them?
So cut down on your expenses. Take a note, like I said, we have enough time to take a count of what our expenses are.
Yes.
Cut down on our expenses, and I mean, so I wouldn't say cut down on your marketing expense or cut down on, but yeah, rent is the biggest trouble that
Yes.
all these retail stores or even somebody who has an outlet for their
Yes.
products will have. I mean, you can always ask for concession for rent for these 3 months till the time your business picks up. But again, communicating with your stakeholders, communicating with your employees, communicating with your landlord,
Right.
your suppliers. So communicating with them and giving a clear, transparent picture of the situation of your business is very important, because in the end, everybody knows what we all are going through. It's not only me, like the entire world. It's not even our country. It's the entire world going through the same situation, right?
True, absolutely.
So there is empathy. I wouldn't say that, but be transparent with how you're going to deal with this. Communicate with people so that they know you have intentions to run your business successfully.
Right.
It's just a small setback which everyone is facing right now, but that doesn't discount the fact that you don't intend to continue your business in the future. Right. So again, cutting down on expenses wherever possible, if you can work from home, because that's how you will cut down on your rents. If at all, this is the time when you will see that how much technology you can use to your benefit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
in fact, I read news that some companies are even considering work from home on a longer time basis. They know that it's working out. Like people are sitting at home but still working, giving the best output they can. So why not continue this? And I think it'll be a fabulous thing to do. Because you're going to save so much money on traveling or taking flights to go to another city or a country altogether to do meetings, which can be done on emails.
Correct.
So this is also part of savings from your pocket, from the employer's pocket.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Saving of time, energy, and of course, it only works better for the environment and the earth.
Absolutely.
There will be less pollution or there will be less traffic.
Okay, so let's talk investments. Now that's your this thing, I guess. But can you tell us, start talking about investments, how we can do it, what is the right place to do it? What do you think now?
Right. So, like I said, I strongly recommend starting a systematic investment plan where you can start an SIP with a minimum of 500 rupees a month. Which is like, even if you consider, not going one weekend to eat out, have fun. If you save that much money, say 5,000 a month, if you end up saving just by cutting down on your one weekend outing, you can really go a long way. And the earlier you start, the better. Okay, so systematic investment plan in mutual funds specifically, because that is the way forward. Those are the only instruments or investment opportunities which will help you beat inflation.
Okay.
Where you do not require too much technical knowledge of working of the stock market, because you have professionals helping you with that.
Yes.
So it's a win-win situation for an investor because it has best of all the worlds that are involved, right? You have access to stock market, you have access to professional help, you have access to beating inflation in terms of like your bank account would probably, your bank FD would probably give you say 7% interest for a year. Okay, I'm talking in general. I'm not talking about this particular market situation we are in right now, but if you invest in mutual funds for a minimum of 5 to 7 years, you will definitely make more money in a mutual fund than in your bank's fixed deposit.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Everything considered, taxation, growth, inflation, everything considered, you will make more money in I'm putting it in a very layman language. Mutual funds are the best investment instruments that you have right now. But again, that also depends on your age. Okay, mutual funds are also multiple, so you have to pick the one that suits your requirements, depending on your age, your risk appetite, your income, a lot of things, a lot of things. So the younger you are, the higher risk you can take because you have a long time to, cover up your losses also till the time you retire. And once you grow older, you want to be more conservative with your capital that you have built for this much time, right? So then I would suggest go for a safer investment options, that could be an FD where you are just about getting enough to sustain. But that again is not going to help you build wealth right now if you're young.
Okay. So somebody's asking, how about share markets?
Share markets, you can, but you need to have full-fledged information about how things work there. You need to, have an in-depth study unless you have a professional to help you. If you have a professional to help you, go with it, nothing like that. But if you do not, then you also have basic understanding of the balance sheet of the companies, what business they are into, and a lot of things, and you should have enough time to monitor it. So as a retail investor, we don't.
That's important.
To the old normal, you will have time for all of this. You will forget everything back then once you get into your routine, right? So take help of a professional. That will really help you if you want to invest in stock market directly.
But is it safe to do that? I mean, I know that everybody is going ahead with agents and investors to, help them with their wealth management. But is it safe? Can we completely rely on them to do this for us? Or do you think there is a chance of being cheated in the whole situation?
No. So if you have somebody who is known, reliable, if you studied their track record, or, you could take reference. So if you have somebody who is, like coming and pitching you, for that matter, even your bank pitches you for all these products, right? So you will trust your bank because you have a relationship with your bank. There is, you meet your bank RM regularly. But what happens when your bank RM changes?
Yes.
The person who has absolutely, because they want to earn better money, right? So they all keep switching jobs. So in that case, you have to explain your entire history of why you're investing, like, if he's genuinely doing financial. In other case, if you are looking for a financial advisor, you could, take references from your friends and family whom they've been, like, taking help from. Even if you end up finding somebody online, you could ask the advisor himself or herself to give you references of his or her existing clients. Correct. You can speak to them and get a first-hand information about the advisor, because I agree, it's very easy for anybody who has no knowledge about this to get fooled by somebody who's coming and selling them any product. So it's very essential to have a reference in place before you pick advisor.
And is it possible to, have do a little research and manage the whole thing by ourselves, or it's
it is. There are a lot of options, and everything is available online to do right now. There's information available online, but if you don't have time, if you don't have understanding and knowledge about it, I would strongly recommend to take help of a professional rather than doing it by yourself and burning your fingers.
Correct.
Right.
And anything you foresee in the share market, like, is it going to go up or things are really going to go bad? Anything from you as an industry insider?
So things don't look any great at the moment. And we do not expect it to pick up anytime soon, right? Because there's so much uncertainty in the market right now that nobody knows when this is going to end, right? So there is fear in the market right now. But having said that, if you're considering investment for next 5 years at least, this is a good time to start investing small amounts every month.
Okay.
The reason being that the markets have corrected. Everything, it's like, your Zara's going on sale. So everything is available at a cheaper rate. There's a 30% correction in the market from the highs of 2020. So everything is available at discount. So this is a good time to start investing smaller amounts. I'm not saying put all your money at one go. Never do that. Even in a rising market or in a falling market, never put all your money at one go. That's absolutely not advisable. But every month, every week, smaller amounts to invest in market, invest in mutual fund, is the best way, because right now, like I said, everything's corrected, and if you have a horizon of 5 years, you should start investing right now if you've not done it so far.
Okay, someone just asked the same question. How early should one start investing?
As soon as you start earning money, as soon as you start your salary coming in, you should start investing. Like I
but
said,
what about people who have already retired and now they want to do something? Is it advisable for them to do it, or
so then comes asset allocation in place. Like if you want to take some risk, like 5-10% of your total entire value, if you want to take some risk, you could, but I wouldn't advise them to do that, because right now they want to use that money for their retirement, for maintaining the lifestyle they had before retiring. So I wouldn't tend to invest in something so very risky. But then again, it depends on the risk appetite even of a retired person, of how much he wants to take a risk, and what is his asset allocation in general.
Correct. And do you think it's like, I've heard people say that only if you have like extra money in hand, then go ahead and save it or invest it in whatever. Is it true, or somebody living hand to mouth who obviously doesn't have like so much money to put in an investment or a market, whatever it is, shares basically? Do you have any suggestion for them how they can think of this, or is it advisable that don't do it at all?
No, I wouldn't say don't do it at all. Like you said, if they are just surviving from their salary account and not having enough to save, then again SIP helps you the best, because it instills discipline in you, right? Like I said, let's change the formula of savings. Like your income minus your savings become your expenditure.
Yes.
So if you want to progress in life and not live hand to mouth, or not live just on your paychecks every month, then I would really suggest that you start an SIP with a small amount of 500 rupees a month. That's absolutely doable, right?
Yeah.
So starting that, at least that will help you save 500 rupees a month, right? It will start investing in the market. Again, that depends on which fund you pick, because you have to understand your risk appetite before you start investing, and how young you are, or what are your responsibilities. So there are a lot of factors that come in. But having said that, starting an SIP of rupees 500 a month is bare minimum you can do to start building your wealth.
Correct. Makes sense. And somebody just asked what is the best investment. So can you tell us some names that people can invest in, or it's not the right thing to do?
No, it's not the right thing. One, because I do not know much information about them, so it won't be right for me to speak up of a particular fund name and then they go invest, and probably doesn't suit their risk profile. So I wouldn't without having much information talk about picking a particular fund.
Got it. Great, Ankita. These are my questions that I had thought like I'll ask you, because as a layman I wanted to know so much, and I think it makes whatever you said makes it so much more easier for me to at least start knowing how to go ahead, because I don't think it's any time is a bad time, unless you're tired and now it's time for you to travel and all, then it doesn't make sense. But for a young person like me, it's the right time to start if I haven't already. Right. So if people want to come to you, how can they reach you, or is there some place where we can get in touch with you?
So you can message me on my Instagram, that's Oaktree Financial Advisors, or Ankita Narsi, or you can get in touch with me on my email at sankitanarsi@gmail.com.
Okay.
So drop in an email with any questions that you have, however silly, however intense, doesn't matter. I would love to answer them. And so drop me an Insta message, and I do respond to Insta messages too. So
Thanks, Ankita. It was really good speaking to you.
Thank you.
If I do get more questions about this whole thing, I'm going to personally forward it to you, and then your replies I can send back to people.
Sure. That would be nice.
We had a great session. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Hope to see you soon.
Yes, see you soon.
Thanks, Ankita. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care. Bye.
So guys, I think this was a very informative session. I personally got to know a lot more about how to start this whole thing, because like I said earlier, I'm not the person who does a lot of savings or know where the money is going or how to invest in my business wisely. But there's so much more. It's an in-depth study, like Ankita said, and there's a lot, lot of study and research that has to be done before you actually go ahead and start investing. So if you guys have any question, please let me know. You can message me here, or you can put a message in my Aeon Homes account, and we will forward it to her, and I will reply the same response from her to you. And it was fun, and we have another great session coming up on Saturday. So it'll be nice if you could join us then. And like I always say, please guys, stay home, stay safe. The situation is getting worse, and we are the only people who can make a difference. So see you. Bye bye. Take care.